In the heart of a land brimming with ancient wonders, there once stood a city that seemed untouchable, Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire. It was a marvel of engineering and culture, where temples kissed the sky, canals wove through bustling marketplaces, and gold shimmered as if the gods themselves had blessed it. But in just 2 years, this empire of millions was brought to its knees, not by a mighty army, but by a man with an iron will, a handful of soldiers, and an invisible killer. This is the story of Hernan Cortés, the Spanish conquistador who orchestrated the downfall of one of the greatest civilizations the world has ever known. It all began in 1519, when Cortés landed on the Yucatan Peninsula with just 600 men, 16 horses, a few cannons, and dreams of unimaginable wealth and glory. His expedition wasn't just an adventure, it was a gamble. But Cortés was a man of relentless ambition, and he quickly realized that the Aztec Empire, for all its grandeur, had cracks. The surrounding tribes resented Aztec dominance and the heavy tributes demanded by Emperor Montezuma. Sensing opportunity, Cortés forged alliances with the Tlaxcalans and other discontented groups, transforming his modest force into a coalition of warriors eager to topple their oppressors. As Cortés and his allies marched toward Tenochtitlan, emissaries from Montezuma intercepted them, offering gifts of gold and precious items. The Aztecs believed these gifts would deter the Spaniards, but they only fueled Cortés's hunger. Upon reaching the city, the Spaniards were awestruck. Tenochtitlan was unlike anything they had ever seen. A floating city in the middle of a vast lake, with intricate causeways, dazzling temples, and vibrant markets. Montezuma, believing the arrival of Cortés might fulfill the prophecy of the god Quetzalcoatl's return, welcomed the Spaniards with open arms, offering them hospitality and treasures. Cortés, however, had no intention of being a guest. Seizing Montezuma, Cortés held the emperor hostage in his own palace, using him to exert control over the city. The tension was palpable, but the situation spiraled out of control when Cortés left Tenochtitlan to deal with a rival Spanish expedition. In his absence, his men, now paranoid and surrounded by a suspicious populace, massacred Aztec nobles during a sacred ceremony. This atrocity ignited a rebellion. The Aztecs besieged the Spaniards in the palace, cutting off their supplies and forcing them to flee during what would come to be known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. In their desperate escape, many Spaniards drowned in the canals, weighed down by the gold they had looted. Cortés, however, was not defeated. Rallying his allies and regrouping, he prepared for a comeback. Meanwhile, an unintentional ally had joined his side, smallpox. The disease, introduced by the Spaniards, swept through Tenochtitlan, killing thousands, including Montezuma's successor. The once thriving empire was now weakened, its population decimated by sickness and despair. In 1521, Cortés launched his final assault on Tenochtitlan. His forces, bolstered by tens of thousands of indigenous allies, laid siege to the city for 75 brutal days. The Spaniards blocked the causeways, cut off food and water supplies, and bombarded the city. The Aztecs fought valiantly, but hunger, disease, and relentless attacks wore them down. On August 13th, 1521, the Aztec Empire fell. Cuauhtémoc, the last emperor, was captured while attempting to flee, and Tenochtitlan, once a beacon of Mesoamerican civilization, was reduced to rubble. The Spanish wasted no time in erasing the legacy of the Aztecs. They leveled the city, building Mexico City on its ruins, and claimed the empire's vast resources for Spain. But the fall of the Aztec Empire was more than just a military conquest. It marked the collision of two worlds, one of advanced indigenous culture, and one driven by European ambition and greed. It was a turning point in history, a story of resilience and betrayal, of glory and devastation. Today, beneath the streets of modern Mexico City, the remnants of Tenochtitlan whisper a haunting reminder of a civilization that once stood as a wonder of the world, until ambition, alliances, and a deadly disease brought it crashing down.